Welcome back to another Toddy Walnuts video, and as you can see from the title, I'm going to go over my Anchor Bay collection, and this was a request from a fellow YouTuber who goes by the name of Zombie Bob 1976. The only thing about this collection is it is still in a tote, and this is not everything that I have that is Anchor Bay. I left some of the box sets out, like the Walking Dead series. Those are all put out by Anchor Bay, but I did not include those. So this is not everything that I have from Anchor Bay, but it's going to be a nice long video, and it's going to be a mixture of DVD and Blu-ray, mostly DVD, and it is a mixture of genres from horror to kung fu, spaghetti westerns, and everything in between. So this is going to be a random pull. I don't have any of this in alphabetical order just yet. It will be eventually. Hopefully, I'm hoping by March. I have to build 2 rooms in the basement. One of them is about 50% done. I still have to put some drywall up. And then I'm going to make another little side room down there for like a kind of like a overrun of my movies, because my collection does not fit into one room, so it's going to kind of be scattered a little bit. That's just the way it's going to be for now. So no more talking. Let's just get into the DVDs and Blu-rays that I have that are put out by Anchor Bay. And like I said, this is just going to be random pulls. So the first one is the out-of-print twin billing of Django and Django Strikes Again. These are both the original Django, who was played by Franco Nero, and this came in the fat pack that Anchor Bay used to do way back in the day. And it says this one was released by Anchor Bay in 1999. And these movies were 20 years apart, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first Django came out in '67, and this one came out in '87. So that is the first one. The second one is a sealed box set called the Spaghetti Western Collection, Once Upon a Time in Italy. And this was a 5-movie set. You get A Bullet for the General, Compañeros, 4 of the Apocalypse, Kioma, and Texas Adios. I believe most of these have Blu-ray releases. I know a couple of them are released in the US. There's A Bullet for the General and Compañeros were put out by Blue Underground. 4 of the Apocalypse, Kioma, and Texas Adios, I believe, have Blu-ray releases from overseas, maybe Germany. But this is what the set looked like. This is out of print, and it was going for some ridiculous money. I always had it on my back burner, and one day I just found it for a really good price. I think it was about 50 bucks, and for the longest time this was well in the 70s, 80s. So I picked it up and I never opened it because I do have these movies on different releases. And here is 4 of the Apocalypse. This is the Spaghetti Western Collection, a film by Fulci. There's the old Anchor Bay logo. This one came out in 2001 from Anchor Bay. The movie is from 1975. This is actually a pretty good movie. And Fulci's known for his horror and his gore zombie movies, but this was actually a good spaghetti western. Next one is a twin billing of Dead of Night and The Queen of Spades. This is another fat pack. Yeah, I got this one like within the past year. I can't remember exactly when I picked this one up, but it is pretty new to my collection. These fat packs had a swing tray, and then they would come with chapter inserts, sometimes little booklets like this one. See if I can do this one-handed without damaging anything. Just came with a little booklet, which is really nice. Back in the day, Anchor Bay was the top movie releasing company. They had a lot of really nice box sets, and they always included little booklets and chapter inserts that collectors liked. Here is Franco Nero in Kioma. I thought this was another good one. I believe this one was also in the mid to late 70s. This is a film that was directed by Enzo G. Castellari. Anchor Bay put this one out in 2001, but the movie is from 1976. And it is the uncut, uncensored version. The next one is called The Hellbenders, starring Joseph Cotten. It's a film by Sergio Corbucci. Coffin without a corpse, crammed with millions in cash. This one is out of print. This would make a good Blu-ray release. They should upgrade this one at some point. Next one is called Take a Hard Ride. Lee Van Cleef and Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, Jim Kelly, kind of a blaxploitation spaghetti western. The baddest brothers in the West saddle up for the hardest ride of them all. And this is a movie from 1975. Anchor Bay put it out in 2006. Here's a Blu-ray called The Victim. Danielle Harris is in it. She looks great as always. The movie was not very good. Kind of a supernatural film about a cabin where they're experiencing phenomenons and makes them go crazy. They try to kill each other. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember it was not the greatest. Here is Mimesis, Night of the Living Dead. This is more of a modern Anchor Bay. Comes with this slipcover, same image. And then it's a newer Anchor Bay label. Zombie plague type movie. You can see that Captain Spaulding himself is in here, Sid Haig. Very low buck operation. Here is I Spit on Your Grave, unrated. This is the remake from 2011, I believe. And it was not as good as the original, but you see that you get the digital copy and the Blu-ray. And if anybody is interested in the code for a Mac or PC, there's the code right there. Go ahead and have one on me, fellas. If you do get it, comment below, let me know that you got it. You're welcome. The next one is a Hammer Collection, Plague of the Zombies. I did switch out the case. I put it in a green case because I thought it looked pretty cool. It's that old sailboat Anchor Bay logo. And it's a film from 1966. It was put out by Anchor Bay in 1999. I believe this one does have a Blu-ray upgrade by now. Next one is one that I own several different times. This is Argento's Suspiria, one of the best horror films of all time. My favorite Argento movie. This is from the Dario Argento collection. It's got the old Anchor Bay logo. And the film is from '77, we all know that. And this was put out by Anchor Bay in 2001. Nice little addition there. Had this movie for a long time. This one I picked up at FYE within the last couple years. Barbara Hershey in The Entity. This one had a couple different covers. This was I think this was a second releasing. It is on the old Anchor Bay logo, but I think they had a different edition that came out before this one. And that one went out of print. I believe this one is also out of print. Anchor Bay put this one out in 2005, but I believe there was the first edition came out in around 1999 or something like that. And the first one is going for big bucks. It has a different cover. Here's one called Voodoo Moon. And I don't know anything about this one. I just picked it up at FYE because I was on a Anchor Bay hunt. Often when I go in there, I just look for Anchor Bay stuff for the collection. And this one was very cheap. $4 plus I get the discount for being a member there, and I believe they even had a sale. There was like buy two, get one free, so. Another one with that fits that same category. This is called Medium Raw, Night of the Wolf. Haven't watched it, and I don't know anything about this one. It has a newer Anchor Bay logo. It says this one was released in 2011 by Anchor Bay. One of my favorite movies and one of my favorite editions. This is the Seasons Grievings edition of Black Christmas with the slipcover. This is out of print and hard to find, and it's a little bit pricey now, I think. It's Region A. This is the Canadian release, I believe, and there are the special features. Scream Factory has since released this, re-released this actually with a nice slipcover as well. Here is the unrated director's cut of Laid to Rest, filmed by Robert Hall. I really enjoyed this one. And the sequel. This is on the New Age Anchor Bay. Next one is a drive-in double feature, Fade to Black and Hell Night, Pray for Death. This has recently been released by Scream Factory. I used to like these twin billings that Anchor Bay put out. Did have a couple of special features. Next one is Peter Jackson's Bad Taste. There's a lenticular cover where he flips the bird, or he's throwing kind of like a peace sign, I guess, not really sure, but I do like that cover. And this is on the old logo. This one was limited to 50,000. I got number 28,740. This is one of those movies that's so bad it's good, I thought. Peter Jackson has made some excellent movies over the years. This was not one of them, but I still enjoy it. It's a fun watch. Here is Slayer, Casper Van Dien. Comes with the slipcover, which I do have this one in a little plastic sleeve, so I'm not going to pull it out, but it's a really nice edition. Put out there on the old logo. Vampire flick. See, this is what I was talking about. There's all kinds of stuff that was put up by Anchor Bay. This is Black Sails Season 1. I still haven't finished watching this one. I think they're on about Season 4 or 5 by now, maybe even more, from Michael Bay. And I heard good things about this, and I picked it up. I picked this up when it first came out, and I just never watched it yet. So let me see if the digital code's in here. If you guys want that, you can have at it. It's a nice set, and I heard good things about it. I think it's kind of like a pirate comedy, if I'm not mistaken. And the code must be gone. I must have gave it away to somebody. because I never use codes myself. I'll put that away later. Here's the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's called Silent Night. Blu-ray DVD combo pack. New Age, Anchor Bay. See Malcolm McDowell in there, right there. Next one is called Malevolence. And it does have some special features there. Rehearsal footage, deleted scenes, still galleries, featurette, back to the slaughterhouse. This one was a little rough. It had some stickers on it. I'm pretty sure I bought this secondhand. It was even in a PlayStation case. I probably got this at FYE. Next one is The Dead. Just another zombie movie. It was actually pretty decent, but there's the whole zombie genre is so oversaturated now. Still, it was a decent watch. I had fun with it. This is a sci-fi horror called Pandorum. Dennis Quaid is in it. And this one was kind of a sleeper for me. I had never really heard much about this one, and when I popped it in, I was pleasantly surprised. It was a pretty good watch. Stranded out and kind of like Alien. Stranded out on a spaceship and all kinds of hell breaks loose. Sci-fi monsters and stuff. Here is Mother's Day. Trauma Retro. Put out on Anchor Bay. The original horror classic. And it's a trauma movie, so it's exactly what you think it is. A lot of cheese, not very good. Here is Hell of the Living Dead, Bruno Mattei film. This is a film from 1983, and Anchor Bay put this edition out in 2002. Here's one where it's a case that the cover art is better than the movie. It's called Shadow People, and it has a really cool lenticular cover, and it actually changes into 3 pictures. There's the words there. Now you will see them too. There's an image of a screaming face right there, and then there's an image of the shadow people themselves. So it does like a 3-picture trick, I guess, or whatever. But I mean, the movie was terrible. I did not really care for the movie. Clint Eastwood's daughter is in here. Fun fact, Allison Eastwood. Here is The Lords of Salem. I really enjoy this movie. A lot of people dislike the movie, but I like it. This is the Walmart exclusive. Came with a 4-song CD sampler, Blu-ray, DVD, and ultraviolet code. Here's some zombie comedy, Zomcom, Night of the Living Dorks. It was funny. You just have to know what you're getting into to watch it. You have to be in the right mood, I guess, to watch something like this. But there's some good laughs in here. If you're just looking for some silly fun, this would be a good one to watch. Here is The Day. The guy from Lord of the Rings, Dominic Monaghan, is in here. It was okay. It was kind of like a post-apocalyptic type film. Then I have these 2 Baba sets. This is volume 1. It comes with Black Sunday, Black Sabbath, The Girl Who Knew Too Much, Knives of the Avenger, and Kill Baby Kill. 5 films. Not going to pull everything out. And then there's volume 2, which comes with Lisa and the Devil, House of Exorcism, Bay of Blood, Baron Blood, Kidnapped, Roy Colton Winchester Jack, which recently had a Blu-ray release from Kino. $5 for an August Moon and 4 Times That Night. Really nice sets to get, and these have gone down considerably since most of these do have Blu-ray releases now. Arrow Video put out quite a few, and Kino put out quite a few. So those sets are very affordable, and I do love to have them in my collection. Here's one I picked up at a pawn shop here in Racine where I live, and this one, the only reason I picked this up is because it's Anchor Bay. It looks like it has nothing that I would enjoy to watch, called Lust in the Dust. I think it's a Western comedy about transgender people there. And it just looks like a really silly comedy. But I picked it up because it is old Anchor Bay. Oops. It says the movie's from 1984. And Anchor Bay released it in 2001, so it's probably out of print. Here's Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I really love this movie, and Screen Factory's putting this out in a collector's edition. I'm going to be picking this up with the poster. This is a great movie. This is a sleeper. Not too many people have seen this or talk about it, but now that Screen Factory's putting it out, I think everybody's going to say it's their favorite movie, but this is a good one. If you get a chance to watch Behind the Mask, grab it. Even if you've never seen it or heard of it before, it's worth a blind buy. This was a good movie. This is a modern horror. I think this came out about 2 or 3 years ago. Lost After Dark. Kind of an 80s vibe horror film. Thought it was very well done. I was pleasantly surprised with the film. Let me see, when did this one come out? I can't see the date. Oh, 2014. So most of you guys have seen this by now, but if you haven't, it's a good watch. Here's The Evil Dead, the limited edition with the bonus DVD. This one is out of print, very pricey. It has been re-released as a single disc edition, which is readily available, but this 2-disc edition is hard to find with the bonus features. Next one is the Bruce Campbell vs. Army of Darkness Director's Cut Official Bootleg Edition. It even has a drawn-in looking Anchor Bay. Comes in like a brown bag looking cover. And it does have the chapter menu. So this one is complete. And it is out of print. Here's a different Army of Darkness. I think this was the most recent DVD release, which came out a few years ago. This one came out in 1999. This edition here, different cover. And then here's the Fat Pack of Army of Darkness, the limited edition. And it was limited to 30, which is not very limited at all. And I got 13/026. This one was also released in 1999. You got the chapter stops and the 2 discs. Here's another Bruce Campbell Army of Darkness Director's Cut. I don't know why I have 2 of these. This one is like brand new in mint condition. The other one is too. I don't really see a difference. I mean, they're both in really good condition. Here is the out of print Dawn of the Dead. This is going for some pretty good bucks now. 127-minute cut of the film. Here is yet another Army of Darkness. This is kind of the Digipack edition. This is called the Boomstick edition, 2-disc set. It opens up like a Digipack. This one was released in 2003. Here's the out-of-print Day of the Dead. 101-minute cut of the film. Here is the Dead Next Door DVD. This one was put out by Anchor Bay in 2005. Comes with some other swag in there too. Chapter stops, and I have an autographed letter from the director, J.R. Bookwalter. Here is the Reanimator, the little highlighter pen box set. These were hard to keep in mint condition because the box is very chintzy, very weak, and it doesn't take very much at all to bang these up. So it's hard to find one that's in really, really, really good condition. And mine has been kind of bouncing around in Rubbermaid totes. So it does have the highlighter pen in there. I'm not going to pull it out. It's just, it looks like a syringe, and you can pop it, pop the top, and the little ink comes out, the pen comes out, and then you can write with it. And it does have the Anchor Bay clear case with the booklet. Really nice edition. One of my favorite movies of all time. Here is the Evil Dead trilogy, and this is a UK release. 4-disc collection. You get Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, Evil Dead 3, Army of Darkness, and you get a bonus disc featuring the unmatted version of the film. Not going to pull it all out, but it does come in a nice little digipack. And I have number 37,205. And this was released in 2003 by Anchor Bay. That's the Anchor Bay UK edition. Here's the Anchor Bay US edition of that. This is the Ultimate Edition. And you get, this is a 3-disc set. This is not all the films though. This is, you get, disc 1 is the widescreen presentation of the film, and then you get the full frame Evil Dead on disc 2, and then disc 3 is Ladies of the Evil Dead, and a bunch of special features down there. So this was put out in 2007 by Anchor Bay. And it just opens up. There's a poster and some of the other covers of the film. This is a really nice little set. I enjoy it. Glad to have that in the collection. Here is a Paul Naschy film called Curse of the Devil. That's a really cool cover. That kind of reminds me of the wolf from Never Ending Story. And it is a film from 1973. Anchor Bay put it out in 2002. The next one is a film about Aleister Crowley, called Crowley. And this is a film by Bruce Dickinson, who is the lead man for Iron Maiden, lead singer. And Aleister Crowley is a guy that I have studied quite a bit. This movie came out in 2009. Here's a Bruce Campbell movie. This is out of print, called Alien Apocalypse. I'm gonna have to move a little bit faster because I do have a lot of stuff to show yet. Here's one I haven't gotten into yet, but this is, I think this is Korean or well, all I know is it's Asian films, but it includes Mad Mission, Mad Mission 2, Aces Go Places, Mad Mission 3, Our Man from Bond Street, Mad Mission 4, You Never Die Twice. I haven't popped into this one yet. I got this one for a really, really cheap price. I think I got all of these movies for about 20 bucks. And this is the 4 DVD set on that old Anchor Bay label. So, next one is called It Waits, and I put it in a red case. And this is a creature feature type film. It was not very memorable. Anchor Bay put that one out in 2006. Here is Bereavement. Another Michael Biehn movie. Michael Biehn. I'm not exactly sure how the guy pronounces his name, but he's a good actor though. He played Johnny Ringo in Tombstone. Here is the Giallo collection of the Bloodstained Shadow. I put it in this yellow case. It was a decent enough Giallo film. I thought it was pretty good. Here is Children of the Corn, uncut and uncensored. This is probably a 3 or 4 generation release of this movie. Picked it up in the $5 bin at Kmart. Here's one called Cold Prey. This was a good movie because I like the outdoor snowy settings. So this was a pretty good little horror film. Next one is called CYCLOPS, and I think this was like a sci-fi channel movie. And I do remember popping this in, and I thought the CGI was horrible. I'm not as against CGI as a lot of you guys out there. I think CGI is, if it's done right, it could add a lot to a movie, like Kong on Skull Island. I thought the CGI was done really well there. But sometimes it can be overdone or just not very good at all. This one's called Bad Dreams. Kind of like a Freddy Krueger ripoff. Another Argento classic, Deep Red. I really love this movie. Excellent movie, 1975. Here is Dawn of the Dead, the special edition from DiviMax. Here is The Beyond, Fulci classic. Comes with the chapter insert. Here is The Hills Have Eyes, excellent movie. Wes Craven, one of his best. Something that's freaky because it could really happen. Here's Happy Birthday to Me, from the producers of My Bloody Valentine. Here is the Fright Pack. This one is called The Walking Dead, 6 premium horror films. And it's made to look like a 6-pack of beer. And you have City of the Living Dead, Nightmare City, The House by the Cemetery, Dead Heat, Let Sleeping Corpses Lie, and Hell of the Living Dead. And all of the films are housed on their own discs. These box sets are hard to find, especially sealed. Here is The Drownsman. This is kind of a more modern DVD release. I believe this one does also have a Blu-ray release, and I still have yet to see it. Haven't seen the film yet. That's a pretty cool cover, though. Here is The Philadelphia Experiment, and this is based on a true story of the U.S. military trying to tamper with time travel, believe it or not. And some people died horrible deaths in these experiments trying to time travel. And it's something you guys should actually look into. Do a little Google search or Wikipedia search, look into that, because the stories are better than this movie was. And it says right there at the top, based on actual events. I thought the movie fell short compared to what it could have been. If you guys read the story, you'll see what I mean. Here's one I thought was pretty bad, Mr. Jones. It does have a cool slipcover, but the movie fell short. I did not care for it. Not very good. Here is The Collapsed, another post-apoc. Another very average, or below average even. Here's one that's out of print. Bruce Campbell is the man with the screaming brain. Horror comedy. Comes with the chapter insert. Here is Night of the Living Dead, the 30th anniversary limited edition. This one came in the fat pack. And I have number 14,115 out of 15,000. Chapter insert and a little booklet comes with it. Nice edition. I'm really looking forward to Criterion's Blu-ray. That's probably my most anticipated film of the year so far. Here is City of the Living Dead. Fulci collection. Somehow my little sleeve got messed up. The film is from 1980, and this was put out in 2000 by Anchor Bay. Classic. Here's one I really enjoyed. I watched this one about 3 or 4 times. I'm sure by now it does have a Blu-ray release, and I will pick that up at some point. But this is a funny movie. It's a funny horror movie, and I really enjoy it. I would put this up there with like Shaun of the Dead. It's that funny to me, but this is more of an American humor, whereas Shaun of the Dead was British humor. And I loved them both equally. I thought they were really good. Robert Englund stars, well, he has a role in here. I don't want to ruin it, but there you can see. I don't want to say he stars in the movie, but he's in there for a good chunk of the movie. It does have a lot of bonus features, but I would like to pick this up on Blu-ray at some point. I just haven't even thought about picking it up yet. If anybody knows if that has a Blu-ray release, just comment down below. I suppose I can search Google too, or Amazon. Here is a really good movie that takes after the Dead Space game. And this was a really good adaptation of the movie from the game. And I really enjoyed it. This is Dead Space Downfall. And if you guys like the Dead Space game that came out on consoles, you'll definitely like the movie. A nice little slipcover with like a metallic-y foil type cover. Next one is Silent Night, Deadly Night. This one is out of print. This is the Christmas survival double feature that comes with part 1, original unrated version, and part 2. And this has since had a Blu-ray release that was unbelievable by Scream Factory. It was one of their best releases to date, in my opinion. So if you guys haven't had a chance to pick up Silent Night, Deadly Night from Scream Factory yet, do that. And then it just comes on a swing tray here. This one is going for some pretty good money, but it may have gone down quite a bit in price since this was re-released on Blu-ray. Here's Fulci's Zombie, also known as Zombie 2, also known as Zombie Flesh Eaters. Why does it have 3 titles? Well, Zombie is the original title that we know it here in the US. Zombie 2 was the Italian title because Fulci was trying to ride the coattails of Dawn of the Dead, which was known as Zombie in Italy. So Fulci called his Zombie 2 as a continuation in the series. And Zombie Flesh Eaters was the British title, the UK title. And I love this movie. Very, very good movie. Here's one I haven't seen. This is one I just picked up because it's Anchor Bay. It says Nothing to Fear, or Nothing Left to Fear. Inspired by the legend of Stull, Kansas. And I might have to look into that because I don't know the legend of Stull, Kansas. If anybody knows the legend of Stull, Kansas, comment down below. Here's another zombie comedy. I thought this was pretty funny too. It's called Detention of the Dead. There's some pretty good chuckles in here. I enjoyed it anyway, but you have to be in that right frame of mind. You have to have a silly frame of mind, a silly attitude to watch that, and you'll enjoy it. Here's Demons and Demons 2 that came in the fat pack. I really liked it when Anchor Bay used to put these out. It was limited, but I don't know what the number was limited to. But the movies came out in 85 and 86. And Anchor Bay put this out in 2001. There's the chapter insert. That's always the important piece for the collector's items. Everybody opens these up, and if it doesn't have the chapter insert, it's not complete. So the next one is House and House 2, 2-disc set. And these have all been released in a beautiful box set by Arrow Video, which I do own as well. There's a swing tray and the chapter insert. Fun movies. I particularly like House, the first one. Here's another little 6-pack of beer. This one is called the Fright Pack, Man's Worst Friends. And you got Rats, Zoltan, the Hound of Hell, or the Hound of Dracula, sorry about that. And then you Cat o' Nine Tails. You get Slugs, the Black Cat, and Parasite. And I guess all 6 of those would be Man's Worst Friends. There's Man's Best Friend right there. And the next one is called The Devil Made Me Do It. You get the Antichrist, not to be confused with the Lars Van Trier Antichrist. This is a different film. Fear No Evil and Hell Night with Linda Blair, which also just had a nice, beautiful Scream Factory release. I have to pick that one up yet myself. You also get Curse of the Devil, To the Devil a Daughter, and The Church. And then each of the movies are housed in their own cases. And the last 6-pack is called Campy Classics. You get Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Return of the Killer Tomatoes, Transylvania's 65000, Return to Horror High, Sleepaway Camp, and Vamp. Many of those films have Blu-ray releases, if not all of them. And sorry about that, guys. I had to take a little break. Next one is CREEPSHOW 2. This is the special edition. And I like that cover. That looks really cool. The old Anchor Bay logo. You get some bonus features. There's the chapter insert. Here is the Wicker Man. This is the original The Wicker Man, starring Christopher Lee, Edward Woodward, and Britt Ekland. It was released in 2006 by Anchor Bay. I was trying to find out when the original movie came out, but I don't want to waste... Oh, 73 it says, 1973. There's the chapter menu. The thing about chapter menus and the inserts like this is you had to pick up the releases right away because they didn't make chapter releases or chapter menus inserts for every edition. It was only kind of like a first run. And after so many were sold, they just started releasing it without the insert. So that's why they're collectible. There's a good little sword and sandal called The Sword and the Sorcerer. And I think that cover is awesome, and I put it in this red case because I thought it looked even better. I like the way that looks. And there's the chapter menu. film from 1982, and Anchor Bay put it out in 2001. I believe that is out of print. Here's one called Heartstopper, and this one also has Robert Englund in it, but I have not seen this one yet. This was a former rental, but I think I bought this on eBay. This is horror. Years ago, I bought some stuff on eBay in a lot that was former rentals, and I got some of these titles for ridiculously cheap. So here's Day of the Dead 2, Contagium. I think they're coming out with a new Day of the Dead, which this, by the way, this series has really gone downhill. It's horrible. It's a shame what they did to the Day of the Dead name, the franchise of it. These movies are really, really bad, and they're coming out with another one. I think it's like available for pre-order or just getting ready to drop. And I'll watch it just because I'm curious to see how bad it's going to be. But it's very disappointing to see such a good name in horror go down the crapper. I got a few more, and we'll try to get this in within an hour or less. This one's called The Fallen Ones. Casper Van Dien is in this one again. I think I got this as a crowdfunding. I can't remember. I think I helped the Kevin Van Hook. Let me see, when did this come out? I think I helped him make this movie by contributing a little bit of money. 2010. Here's George A. Romero's Season of the Witch. And it also includes There's Always Vanilla as a second feature. That this was a nice little addition. I picked this one up for about, like, I don't know, it was pretty cheap, $6 at FYE. Here's one that's out of print. This is Torso. This is one of the more graphic and brutal giallo slashers that you'll find, that you'll watch. Let's see, what does that say? Some of Torso's English soundtrack was either never recorded or lost. There's the chapter insert. This one was a little disappointing too. I thought it had a shot to be a good movie, and it was Apollo 18. It was okay, but there was nothing groundbreaking. But it did look good. I mean, it was shot very well. Here is The Crazies. This is the remake. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. I thought it was better than the original. It was more gory, and it had it was a little more shocking to me, I thought, than the original. Here is the Sleepaway Camp Survival Kit that was recalled because it looked like a first aid kit, and they wanted it removed from the shelves, and then they pulled all of these, so the price went way up, and this became a collectible. And then they re-released it with just a white, plain white cover. Same set, just a different cover, that's all. And this one came with Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and 3, Teenage Wasteland. Plus it gave you a little taste of what they were gonna do with part 4. And they never made part 4. They scrapped this part 4, and they ended up making a different part 4 years later. So there is a part 4, but it had nothing to do with the footage that was in this set. But this is a cool set, though. Here's one called Freezer. I thought this one was okay. I like Dylan McDermott. I think he's a good actor. I really liked him in American Horror Story Season 1. I thought he was excellent. Haven't watched his new comedy show yet, but it looks like it's pretty good. He's an airline pilot, but this was actually a pretty good movie. And people get trapped in the freezer, and they start turning on each other, trying to find a way to get out. That would probably look good on Blu-ray. I'm sure it has a Blu-ray release by now. This one was released on DVD in 2013. Here's a creature feature in the sky movie called Altitude. And I watched this with my older daughter, but I fell asleep, and she finished it, but I didn't get to. I never went back and finished it. She said it was so-so. So she's a little tougher critic than I am, though, so. Here is Ash versus Evil Dead, Season 1 with the lenticular. I thought that cover looks really cool. There's a nice effect to it. And the show is great. It's what every Evil Dead fan wanted. Here's one that was part of a set, but they came as single editions. I think there was like 4 or 5 different monsters, or whatever you want to call these guys. It's kind of a comedy. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein, or Frightenstein, was the name of the show, and this one was kind of a compilation of the Igor Mania character. And these were very pricey. They went out of print, and I was going to try to get them all, but I think they were like 50, 60 bucks a pop on DVD, which didn't really work out for me. So I would rather spend my money elsewhere. But I got this one really cheap. That's why I just only got the one. But I think there was a couple, like 3 or 4, maybe 5 total, 5 different characters. Here's one called Aftershock, filmed by Eli Roth. Eli Roth presented it, but I guess it was filmed by Nicholas Lopez. Special features. Post-apocalyptic type film. I like Eli Roth's stuff, though. I think he's a great director, great producer. I think he makes fun movies. 2 more for this video, then we'll call her quits. This is not all of my anchor-based stuff, but this is long enough for a video. This is the Children of the Corn horror collection with the slipcover. Film is from 1984, and this one was released in 2001. So these are all out of print now. And the last one for this video is Day of the Dead. This is the little digipack edition. But I put a sleeve on this one because when I was putting it on my shelves before, when I had my DVD shelf, there's like a little cardboard pop out, and it would always get hung up, and I didn't want to get it damaged, so I put a sleeve on there just to kind of keep it from getting wrecked. So that's my Anchor Bay collection. If you guys made it this far in the video, thank you very much for watching. I think the next video I'm going to do is going to either be my Western collection, show you guys like my Western stuff. I have it in a tote too. Or I'll show you guys my media books or slash digibooks. So let me know what you guys want to see out of those 2. And other than that, take care, guys. Have a great week. Be safe. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.